Hello my Fly Mickey friends, welcome to the latest news from the world of Disney. And on this week's episode, the big three go maskless under the new rules, the Disney Wish reveals her starting prices, and the Disney ambassadors give us a magical surprise. Now, before we take a look at this week's update, don't forget to subscribe to this channel, give this video a like, and click the bell icon to stay in the know about all things Disney. So first up, and the big three, that's Disney World, Universal Studios and SeaWorld Orlando, have all dropped their outdoor mask rules effective immediately. Visitors will no longer have to wear face coverings outdoors at any of Central Florida's major theme parks from this weekend onwards, although this has sparked a mixed reaction among some fans, with a general concern about the changes coming too swiftly, with cast members and employees given very little time to prepare. In fact, it was Universal Orlando who was the first theme park to drop the outdoor mask requirements last Friday evening, with guests being reminded that they still needed to bring one with them when they came to the park if they were going to go inside or maybe stand in line for a ride. And over at Walt Disney World, very similar requirements were in place for indoor spaces like theatres throughout the attractions, on Disney transportation and at their restaurants, except when a guest is actively eating or drinking while stationary. But in all outdoor common areas and on pool decks, wearing a mask is totally optional for the guests. WDW had tried to quietly update its safety rules late on Friday via its website, but as usual, eagle-eyed Disney fans around the globe spotted those changes and soon the news had gone viral. This came on top of Disney's CEO Bob Chapek adding this week that attendance limits at the resorts would also be increased beyond the previous 35% cap, but he didn't provide much more detail beyond that. And it would appear a slightly different approach is being taken at SeaWorld in Orlando, where face coverings will no longer be required for guests who are fully vaccinated. They say this is in accordance with the CDC guidance, although they have stated that they will not be requiring proof of vaccination, but are asking guests to be respectful and comply with the revised policies. The changes made by the Big Three come only a day after the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention released new guidelines saying that people vaccinated for coronavirus don't have to wear masks in most places anymore, but they still recommend them for crowded indoor settings. But it's hoped the new rules should help clear the way for the reopening of more workplaces and other venues across the state and further afield in the coming weeks. Now we are a couple of weeks into Disneyland Resort being reopened, and there have been many highs, few lows for the lucky die-hard Californian residents who managed to venture into the happiest place on earth in 2021 so far. And quite a few fans were oddly satisfied with their experience, that although every attraction in the park is running a little different from what they are used to, which is to be expected, in general they have found that everything has been pretty snappy and felt rather comfortable. In fact, lines have been so short for pretty much everything that Disney vacationers have been getting excited on social media over the 10-minute only wait for Splash Mountain, which has been very much appreciated on a 90-degree temperature day. But it's not just the attractions that have impressed them either. The general low overall capacity of the parks has meant that the walkways have been a lot clearer, so not only do guests feel a lot safer around the two parks, but let's face it, it's a whole lot more enjoyable if there's less people in your way. And so while the resort is consciously monitoring the current situation in both Disneyland Park and Disney's California Adventure Park, they are also savouring the challenge and promise of the future. The Disneyland Forever proposal, seen at a recent webinar, seeks to update a 1990s Anaheim City plan to allow for a mix of theme park, hotel, retail, dining and entertainment on the eastern and western edges of the Disneyland Resort. And they have dangled 6 possible theme park projects projects to provide a flavour of what that future could look like. But it's one concept I've seen this week that has really grabbed my attention. As a fan of the Indiana Jones franchise, the idea of bringing Jock Lindsay's hangar restaurant and bar theme over to the West Coast is an exciting example of the high-end entertainment concept that Disneyland could build under a reimagined long-term vision for the Anaheim theme park resort district. The original version of the Jock Lindsay hangar bar opened in 2015 at Disney World's Disney Springs, Florida's version of Downtown Disney, and it's where the Walt Disney Imagineering team designed a venue themed to the aeroplane hangar belonging to Jock Lindsay, Indiana Jones's pilot in Raiders of the Lost Ark. They then went and filled it with aeroplane memorabilia relating to the movie franchise and gave a few sly nods to Star Wars, Iron Man, Jungle Cruise and Pirates of the Caribbean as well. But bringing Jock Lindsay's hangar bar to the Disneyland resort could dovetail nicely with Disney's ambitious plan to thematically tie together many of its most popular stories under one umbrella. And while Disney has not announced any new attractions, lands or restaurants officially as part of the Disneyland Forever proposal, I personally give this project one big thumbs up to go ahead. So pricing for the Disney Wishes 2022 itinerary sailings are now available ahead of the 27th of May general public on sale date. And believe me, this is a very welcomed announcement from the Disney Cruise Line after the rather stressful time we all had not knowing any prices ahead of the Disney Magic at Sea UK Staycation cruise launch. With bookings for Disney Cruise Line's newest ship, the Disney Wish, becoming available to all in just a couple of weeks, now is a great time for guests to start planning their adventure on the high seas. And maybe for those who are pond hopping over to be on board, you could think about extending the adventure with some extra magic time at the Walt Disney World Resort as well. Now, the Disney Wish's maiden voyage is, of course, significantly more expensive than most of the other sailings, with the 5-night Bahamian cruise starting out at around £4,000 for an inside stateroom, £4,500 for an ocean view with veranda, and up to a starting price of £6,500 plus for those concierge suites. As for the sailings available after the maiden voyage, prices would appear to only be slightly more expensive than your typical sailing on board the Disney Dream or the Disney Fantasy. For example, a 3-night Bahamian cruise from Port Canaveral on the Disney Wish starts at around £2,000 for an inside stateroom, while a 4-night similar stateroom cruise can range up to as much as £2,800. It is important to note that prices vary depending on the time of year, the type of stateroom, and the number of guests, plus the expected supply and demand that will come on the opening day. Bookings officially open on Monday, May the 17th for Platinum Castaway Club members with 25 or more sailings under their belt, after which bookings will continue to open for the different levels of the Castaway Club membership each day thereafter, until we get to the general public on sale day, which is Thursday, May the 27th. And you can find full booking details, a price guide and the itineraries on our website, flymickey.co.uk. Well, it's been a bit of an emotional rollercoaster week for Disneyland Paris fans, as several news headlines have appeared almost at once. So let's start off with the removal of the neon signage from the popular Buffalo Bills Wild West show, which has been Disneyland Paris's longest running show, having opened along with the rest of the resort back on April 12th, 1992. We sadly learnt late last year that this live-action dinner show, which features Mickey and friends facing off Annie Oakley in a Wild West adventure, was officially being closed forever as part of the resort's entertainment cutbacks. And now, with DLP reports sharing on Twitter the images of the iconic signage for the show being slowly dismantled at the Disney Village, fans are anxiously awaiting the news to find out what type of show will be replacing it at the large theatre venue. Personally, I'd like to see a brand new, unique Disney on Ice type production be staged there, which could essentially attract new Disney fans from all over the world to visit Europe's most popular theme park. Also this week, DLP reports shared on their Instagram that authorities in France have now ruled out the use of any health passes. This would have included having to show proof of a vaccine or a negative COVID-19 test to enter the French theme parks. But of course this includes Disneyland Paris, and it removes a major hurdle to the park's reopening. The information has been backed up and verified in a post by the Syndicate National des Espaces de Loisirs des Attractions et Culturelles. SNELAC for short is the French Amusement Parks Union, and they have fought very hard over the last year against the use of any kind of vaccine passports in the country, so this has been seen as a big win for them in the return to normality. And finally from DLP, as we know, the two parks were due to open on April the 2nd this year, and although the park's management haven't made any official announcements just yet, Disneyland Paris could be reopening really soon. On the official website, an update has recently been posted regarding the reopening, stating, "We can't wait to welcome you back to Disneyland Paris. Just a little more patience. We are putting the final touches on the magic and we'll share our reopening date with you very soon." We are all, of course, hoping that this new update on their website means that they are well on their way to reopening, but for now, we'll just keep on wishing on that star. And finally this week, Disney park ambassadors the world over gathered together last week for a magical surprise in a new video collaboration for the upcoming 5th anniversary of Shanghai Disney Resort. The ambassadors could be seen dancing in the style of the new resort's 5th birthday theme, called A Magical Surprise. But don't you worry, if you're a true Disney park fan, don't feel like you've been left out of the fun, because Disney Parks blog have also posted a video showcasing the steps and choreography for the new tune for you to dance along to on your TikToks. This anthem was specifically created for this magical milestone as a collective effort joining the talents of Yaron Spirak, Senior Music Producer and Creative Director at Walt Disney Imagineering, Grammy-nominated producer Chris Cernel, songwriter and The Voice contestant Jeff Lewis, and Chinese pop sensation Lu Yuning. And at this point, I'd like to apologise if I pronounced anybody's names wrong, but the year of magical surprises includes lots of cool new merchandising, food and beverage offerings, as well as debuting an all-new show called Illuminate, a Nighttime Celebration, which over the weekend had some unintentional extra magic added to it by a passing thunderstorm that almost seemed to be flashing along in time with this new state-of-the-art show. And as we know, Disney can make it snow on cue in Paris, so why not the thunder and lightning at Shanghai Disneyland Resort? That's it for this week's news update. Don't forget to follow us on all social media platforms at FlyMickeyTravel, so you'll never miss out on the magic moments from the world of Disney. And all that's left to say is have an illuminating magical day.